All right, you guys, we're going to be reading this story today. Um, should plants and animals from other places live here? It's a persuasive text, so it's going to give us pros and cons, or good and bad of both. And then when you go answer your questions this week, you're going to have some questions regarding this. All right, let's go ahead and listen.
Should plants and animals from other places live here? Point, counterpoint. New arrivals welcome. Non-native species are good to have around. Did you know that some plants and animals in the United States come from other places? These plants and animals are called non-native species. Some are called invasive when they harm the environment, our health, or businesses. Some can take over a widespread area. The population or number of some native species has declined because of invasive species. But good things come from some non-native species too. In Florida, for example, about 2,000 species of plants and animals are not from the area, including oranges and chickens and sugarcane. These species are good for business. In fact, 90% of farm sales come from the sale of non-native species. Non-native species can help to control pests that harm crops. Some scientists identify a pest's natural enemy, such as an insect, and bring it to farms to kill pests. Stopping pests is a good thing. Plus, this way of controlling a pest reduces the use of pesticides. For example, the dahlia beetles were brought here from Australia to eat insects that kill citrus fruit. The beetles were successful, and farmers stayed in business. Many dogs and cats come from other places too. Labrador retrievers and Siamese cats are just two examples. Non-native species like these surely make our lives better.
Interesting.
Counterpoint, point. A growing problem. Foreign plants and animals threaten our country. Visitors to the Florida Everglades expect to see alligators, not pythons. These huge snakes are from Asia, but about 150,000 pythons are crawling through the Everglades. The probable reason they are there is that people who kept pythons as pets dumped them in the wild. No one knows for sure. Now the pythons are a problem, threatening to reduce the population of native species. Although some non-native species are useful, others are harmful. It costs the U.S. $137 billion each year to fix the damage these species cause to the environment. Problems start when a species becomes invasive. For example, Asian carp was brought here and was able to thrive in the Mississippi River. Now the fish is a danger to the Great Lakes ecosystem. Because of its large appetite, the number of native fish has gone down. Some germs are also a problem. A flu virus came to the U.S. carried by birds. This germ can cause a lung disorder or illness in people. Agricultural experts sometimes bring in non-native species to help the environment. But this can create unexpected problems. 100 years ago, Melaleuca trees were brought to Florida from Australia to preserve swampy areas. Now millions of these trees crowd out endangered native plants. The facts lead to one conclusion. We must remove invasive species and keep new ones from arriving. Non-native species, benefits and costs. Over the years, about 50,000 non-native species have entered the U.S. The chart shows the helpful and harmful effects of 4 non-native species.
Okay, so we're going to be looking at the chart. We'll probably have some questions regarding this, so make sure you follow along and are listening.
Species: horse. Native land: Europe. Entered the U.S. early 1500s on purpose. Helpful effects: used for work, moving people, fun. Harmful effects: made large-scale wars possible. Kudzu. Asia. Early 1800s on purpose. Stops soil erosion. Crowds out native plants. Olives. Middle East and Europe. Early 1700s. Farming began in 1800s on purpose. Food source, cooking oil, important to California businesses. Only helps businesses in the few places where it can grow. Mediterranean fruit fly. Africa, 1929, first recorded accidentally. Food source for spiders. Destroys 400 species of plants, including citrus and vegetable crops.
Okay, so if you see here, we have the helpful, so like the pros, and then we have the harmful effects here, which would be like the cons.
Although this community is trying to control invasive Melaleuca plants, these plants have taken over the marsh.
All right, that is it for this week. Make sure you go ahead and you answer some of the questions. If you need to, listen to this one more time. Look forward to hear from your responses, and I'm also excited to see you at our Zoom meetings. Bye.